Hiya.
You are prompt. You are on time. I love it.
I am ready. Ready.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. I'm just going to let everyone who's tuning in know that if you want to get your questions in for Bethany, I will be asking them. Just put them in the comments and then I'll check them up and I'll try and ask all of them. There's always going to be so many.
Yeah.
But how are you, Beth? First of all, how has lockdown been and all of this madness? Where have you been? How's it going for you?
Yeah, so first 10 weeks of it was quite tough. I was down in London by myself, with the dog, because I was injured, so I was still having to make sure that my foot was getting recovered properly without kind of putting myself or anyone else at risk. So living alone was quite tough, not being able to see family and friends, but thankfully I think I know Zoom calls like the back of my hand, and the party app and everything, the party house stuff. So there's quizzes going on every weekend. So managed to get through it, but it was definitely quite a tough time.
Well, I mean, this is all a bit of a ploy because all I really want to know is about Buddy.
Yeah, I think that's what anyone only wants to speak to me about the dog. Forget me. It's fine. It's fine.
I've watched you on Instagram. He's amazing. And the little trick with the little tree.
Yeah. Honestly, he's been my absolute saviour through lockdown. I think if I didn't have him, I'd have struggled a lot more. But he kept me going out the house. Obviously, I kept going on my walks with him, get a bit of fresh air and stuff. So, it's been an absolute dream for me. Best decision I ever made, getting him.
Oh. Yeah, I remember speaking to Millie Bright, and she had to keep her dog away because it's still a pup, and she was just like, he's everywhere.
Yeah. Frank, thankfully I've just walked Buddy now, so he's asleep at my feet, so he should settle throughout this.
Well, we'll come back to him a bit later. Let's talk about your injury, because you mentioned that. What was that? I mean, it's one of the hardest things for athletes anyway, let alone you've gone into lockdown, you can't see anyone, and you're going through rehab.
Yeah, so I had a slight tear in my Achilles from She Believes, and thankfully it weren't as bad as we initially thought, because to be fair, I think I was extremely lucky that they don't know how I didn't rupture it, but okay. I somehow managed to get away with that, and it was difficult in the sense that obviously as we'd come back, lockdown started happening, and we wouldn't then get access to the training ground. I wouldn't get the usual treatment that I'd need, or certain rehab stuff, and the club obviously throughout lockdown did their best to help possibly could, but again, I had full access as we usually would have. I probably would have been sorted in maybe like 1 or 2 months, but obviously because of lockdown it's extended it and pushed it further and further back, so it's been long, but I think I kind of had the best of both worlds, because I've not missed any games. I've managed to recover my foot properly, healing without putting extra strain, trying to rush it to get back or anything. So, if anything, I'm extremely fortunate to be in the position that I was in. I did it at that time.
And obviously, this is Champions Chat. You guys are champions. Where were you when you found out? I think some of the other girls said they were on Zoom. Were you all on a Zoom call?
Yeah. So we all found out through a Zoom call just before it got publicly announced, and it was quite nice that even though we couldn't physically be together, we were still together when we all found out via obviously a call. But I was back home with my family. I managed to be able to get a couple of weeks back with my family, a little bit of a break, mental and physical rest, I think, from everything. So that was nice.
And is your mum a nurse, or does she work for the NHS?
Yeah, she works for the NHS. She's not a nurse, so she works with the virology department. So basically, she ensures that everyone gets the right PP equipment sent out. Everyone that gets tested, she sorts out the samples, takes them to and from the labs, goes on to the hospital wards, collecting and distributing to make sure that they're all tested and that the right equipment sent out to the right hospitals on time.
Oh, wow. So a lot of people have just, been at home, bored in the house, bored, like a lot of us. But your mum has been crucial during this time.
Yeah, bless her. She's been pretty stressed, to say the least. I'll say we've had a few stressful conversations, but yeah, she's non-stop working through this. Even now, I think they've had a few people, obviously some people have gotten sick within it. Yeah. So she's been having to work I think at one point she was doing like 14, 15 days on the trot without a day off, and it was constant long days in earlier, finishing later. But like I say, my concern was that she was safe, and she's been fine throughout all of it, and she's done a great job. So I'm proud of her for that.
Oh, nice. Was she proud when she found out that you guys were crown champions?
Yeah, we all had a little drink to celebrate. But yeah, I think, bless, considering like my mum works a lot, and to be fair, she's manages to get to so many games where she can. So and my dad as well, not forgetting my dad. But yeah, they do well to get to all my games, and she's like my number one fan. So yeah, I think she was pretty chuffed to finally see us be crowned champions.
And let's go all the way back to the beginning of the season. Did your friends and family go to Stamford Bridge opening game against Spurs as well?
Yeah, I had quite a few family members at that game. It was a big occasion. Obviously, the fact we were able to play at Stamford Bridge in front of near enough 25,000 people was a huge honour for us at Chelsea. So yeah, they were never going to miss that game. Plus, I think they were doing a few free drinks in the bar, so my dad was straight there. He was like, "Don't worry about that."
Nice. And the season couldn't have started better for you. I mean, I think it was like 4 minutes in, little worldie of a goal in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just one of them where I knew I'd had a good pre-season, and I just really wanted to kick the season off in good form after finishing the season before in quite a good goal-scoring form. So yeah, managed to put a nice little left-footed top bins in there. So yeah, it wasn't a bad start for myself.
I love the knee slide celebration.
Yeah, do you know what? I've never done a knee slide in my life. Like, because Drew actually gave me a bit of banter about that, but it was, and the pitch was a bit dry, so I think it kind of cut my knees a little bit. But I think just the whole emotions of it all, and like the reason I went in that direction was because my family was set up in the box, so I went. It was more like a celebration to them, and that. But yeah, I think that was the first and last knee slide I'll ever do.
I love it. I love it. And let's talk a little bit. I mean, you guys have done the double this season. So 2 goals in the Conti Cup. Have you enjoyed being the player that I guess the team relies on to win big matches?
Yeah, I mean, I think this season it were a big responsibility for myself getting the number 9 shirt. So that was a big honour for me, but also a lot of responsibility comes with that, leading the front line, and I've loved every minute of it. I think if anything, I've thrived off the pressure this year, and confidence has just gone from strength to strength. So yeah, I'm delighted with the season that I've had, and hopefully next season I can better it even more. And obviously, chuffed for the team that we worked so hard this season, and we knew after the disappointments of last year coming away with no silverware that it had to be our season. And yeah, to come away with 2 trophies out of what we could have done, I'm immensely proud of the team for that.
You mentioned the number 9 shirt. Talk me through it. Where were you and how did you feel? I mean, you said you were honoured to have the number 9 shirt, but did you choose the number 9? Did someone offer it to you? How did that play out?
So I think it was through. I think initially I approached Chelsea about it the season before, but obviously they weren't really sure where they wanted to go with that. And then I think it was when I then decided to extend my contract by a year. They were like, "Look, obviously you're performing well, you're scoring for us," and yeah, they put it on the table for me. So I was more than obviously happy to take that, and I was honoured that they chose to give me the option of being able to take it. So I love my number 15, but I really felt like I'd solidified a position. I knew exactly what kind of player that I am, and yeah, and obviously as a striker, you want to be in a number 9 shirt, I guess.
Yeah, we'll come back to a little bit of like the positions and a bit of your career, but for now, let's stick to the season. Your 92nd minute winner. I mean, your favourite moment of the season has got to be that, surely.
I mean, there's been a few good ones, but I think that's that's definitely up there. I think I had absolutely nothing left in that game, and I think anyone can see, and I'm not even ashamed to admit, we were under the cosh from Arsenal. Arsenal were playing so well. Anne capturing, but I've said this from day dot, Anne won that game for us. The saves that she pulled off were just phenomenal. I think that's the best game of her life, that some of them saves she pulled off. And again, I think it just come down to the actual like grit and determination of the team, and the mentality that we've shown throughout the season to push on and push on. And when they scored that equalising goal, even then it was, I've said this again in an interview, Erin come up to me and we had a little chat and she's like, come on, there's something else coming. I know you've got something else in you. And I probably had the easiest part of the lot of it. Like, Sam did all the work down the sides, Marin's amazing run up top to play it through. And yeah, I was just put myself in the right place at the right time, really, for a little tapping. But it was the most important tapping I think I'll ever have. So yeah.
Amazing.
It was credit to the team for that. I obviously got the glory for that, but it was full credit to everyone else in the team for that one.
Well, you touched on Sam. What's your link up been like? Because she's new. So it's not like you guys have played together before, but it seems to be a nice little marriage. It's like married well into it, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think we only had like 2 or 3 sessions together before our first game. And do you know what? She's everything that Emma spoke to the players about, her personality, the way she carries herself, her work rate. She's such a lovely girl, and I've really enjoyed playing with her. Obviously, her speed is quite threatening for a lot of teams, and her pace and power. Obviously, as we've seen, she's a good finisher. I think I feel a bit sorry for her because she kind of got her season cut short after not being here very long with us. So I think she just needs a little more time to find her feet, and we know she can score goals for fun. So next season, I'm sure she'll be out there scoring a lot more. But I've thoroughly loved playing with her up top. I think she's been a great addition to the squad, and yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next year.
I've got to ask about your relationship with the fans, because I mean, even under here, so many are coming through. We love you. We miss you. You're amazing. You're this. What is your relationship like with the fans? I mean, the Chelsea supporters group, they love you. They've sent me so many messages.
Oh, bless them. Yeah, no, like I'm quite set on, like, they give a lot of their time to us and show up so much dedication and support, and obviously I think it's nice that we can interact with fans. And I mean, I don't know what that's going to be like going forward now, and obviously like the men's, there's too many people to be able to do anything, but for us I think it brings that family environment to know that we as players do appreciate and care about the fans that show up week in, week out for us, whether it be away. I remember when we went away to PSG, the Champions League the season before, and the little crowd of fans that, are always there, up at silly hours, driving, getting to places. And yeah, us as players appreciate it a lot. And for myself, they've shown a lot of faith in me over the last few seasons, especially when I got loaned out and coming back. So yeah, they've been a credit to me, and if there's a way I can repay that best I can, I do my best to. So they're a big part of the club.
Well, it's interesting that you touched on that when you were loaned out. Let's talk a little bit about your career. You started off at Doncaster and then moved to Chelsea. Was it difficult at the start?
Yeah, massively. I think I was, how old was that? I think I was 21, 22. I think I was 21. Coming into a team with the likes of, like I say, Fran, Gemma Davis, and obviously Annie was the 9 then, and there was a lot of big names, and Katie Chapman, the captain. Like there was a lot of big personalities in there to suit. And I wouldn't say I was necessarily the most confident a player, and I'd gone from somewhat being a big fish in a little pond to now a little fish in a much bigger pond. And I think trying to adjust from that part-time life of professional life, of adjusting to all the training, the requirements, etc. I think I was just a little bit slower, I guess, to pick the pace up than what I'd have liked. But yeah, the team were great with me, and obviously I got developed quite a nice lot of friendship groups. Then previously playing with Millie for probably most of my life, I've played with Millie at Sheffield, Doncaster, and now Chelsea. So it was nice to have a friendly face there whilst I was there as well.
And let's talk about your position, because you didn't start off as a striker, so you've kind of moved around. What was that like, and how did it feel when you finally were like, do you know what, yeah, up front, striker, this is where I need to be?
Yeah, so when I was at Donny, I kind of played, I kind of started off as a winger, then went into more of a 10 role for a bit, and then the last season I was there, I was playing as a 9. Then when Chelsea recruited me, it was again back to like sort of a winger position. And then, yeah, like I say, I was competing against like Jem Davison and stuff, which is at the time was really difficult to try and even get minutes into the squad. But you learn from them, and you learn the pace of it and everything. And I think it was the spring series that Emma decided to play me as a left wing back because we'd had a few injuries. I think Raf was out and we didn't really have any other left-footed players. And naturally, I'm quite confident with my left foot in that I can use it enough. And trying to adapt to that role was challenging, but I did my best, and we won the spring series with it. So I was pretty chuffed for that. And then, yeah, I think it weren't until I got loaned out to Liverpool and Scott really helped me learn the role of the 9. And because I played a few games wide and I was all right, but again, I think you could see that it weren't naturally probably what I was best at. I'm not a type of player that would usually run, drive at players. I'm more of like a stronger, I'll hold people up, like link up type of play. I can run with the ball, but others are probably better than me at that. So, and yeah, I think just Scott really helped me work on my game at being in that number 9 role, and my pressing from the front, my hold-up play, the way I'll move defenders and stuff like that. So I think it was then when I knew that was the position I was coming back to.
Well, I mean, you've answered my next question, which was going to be about your move to Liverpool. No, it's great. You went straight into it, so it's awesome. Well, so you went to Liverpool, you kind of found your feet, and then you came back to Chelsea. How did it feel coming back? And then 22 goals in the season.
Yeah, well, at first, I think the difference in me that especially probably the players and Emma saw in me was that I wasn't this shy, young player anymore. I was confident. I was like, do you know what? I've earned my place here. It's not kind of like, oh, I'm lucky to be here. It was like, do you know what? I've gone out there. I've proved myself, not to anyone else, but mainly to myself, that I deserve to be in. I'm here for the right reasons. And I think with that, obviously, again, trying to get in front of likes of Fran, Ramona and stuff after the season they'd had doing the double was going to be challenging, but I worked hard, and I think I started getting more and more game times just leading up to Christmas, and then from then I just flying really. And yeah, it was a great season for me to score so many goals, and I'm gutted I didn't quite reach it this year. That was my aim, to beat it this year, and then it was cut short. But yeah, it was a great year personally for myself, but I'd have rather taken some trophies over them goals anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny that you talked about coming back and feeling more confident, because Emma talks about your perseverance all the time. Is that one of your strongest qualities, do you think? And do you think it's down to your perseverance that's got you to where you are today?
Probably the biggest one, yeah. I think since I was a young girl, I've always been quite competitive, and I think I do get that from my mum and dad. They're both really like competitive, sporty people, and they never really let me quit, and not in a pushy way, but like they'd always like kind of drill it into me that you can't just give up, you have to keep pushing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've started to thrive off the pressure a little more, because I enjoy the challenge, and I enjoy not only being able to prove everyone else right, but myself. I knew this is what I've always wanted. I've loved football ever since I can remember, and yeah, it's nice to see that the hard work's finally paying off for me. So it shows that anyone out there, just work your socks off, and you'll get there.
It's funny that you say about competitiveness, because I feel like sometimes now people are like, oh, you don't want to be competitive. But actually, whenever I talk to the top athletes, everyone's competitive. And you kind of need, I know what you're saying, there's a fine line between your parents being pushy against something that you don't want to do. But also, you know, as children, you sometimes just want to quit because you want to watch telly, or you want to hang out with your friends, or you want to do. So you kind of need that discipline that you only sometimes get when you're a bit more mature. So having your parents kind of go, no, I'm not going to quit, is important. Because what if, you know, you'd had a bad day, and as a child, you're just like, oh, nah.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, there was a point when I was at Doncaster, and it was around the time they were selecting the under-20s England World Cup squad, and I thought I had a really good shot at it, but a few mishaps here and there. I'll not go into details of it, but there was a few things here and there, and ultimately I didn't get picked to go to the World Cup. And when I say I was devastated, I thought that was it. Like I was ready to quit. I was like, Mum, I'm not playing anymore. I'm done. It's not worth it, etc. And as they do, they sit you down and they talk about it. They calm you down, and yeah, and I think it was through that conversation with my mum, I was like, do you know what? No, I'm not going to quit. And this day, I would have quit had she not have had that brutal conversation with me. And then since, yeah, it's a lot of this, I guess, is a credit to her for believing in what I could do and just not letting me give up on my dream.
Oh, and that leads me nicely onto how proud were you when you did get your England call up?
Oh God, don't! It'll get me emotional. Yeah, it was. It was a long time. I felt coming, but the right time. I think. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and but I clearly weren't ready when I probably thought I was, and yeah, to finally be able to step out on that pitch with. Again, I just find it so fitting, England on the back of my shirt, and it's just, yeah, such a proud moment for me and my family, and something that I'll never forget.
I mean, we need Beth England playing for England.
I mean, it was written in stars, wasn't it? So, yeah, it's a big honour, big honour.
And we have to talk about Buddy, because I got loads of questions. When did you get him? What's his favourite trick? What's been the best thing in lockdown with him? I mean, I got so many questions. I was like, we need some for Beth here. Everyone.
Right. No, it's fine. Yeah, so I got him. Funnily enough, I was supposed to pick him up the same day that I went away on my first England camp. So I ended up getting him 2 weeks late because the breeder had to keep him because I was like, oh, well, the one time I finally get called up is when I'm supposed to be picking up my forever child. But yeah, so I got him just after the Norway camp. August, and sorry, I forgot the other questions now. Other than when
it was like during lockdown. I mean, there was a few that I just saw on my Instagram, and it was like the tricks. How's he like? How old is he? What's it been like?
Well, he's just turned 1. Anyone that follows me know I made him his first little birthday cake with candle that he loved from scratch. It stunk my flat out, but he loved it. He shared it with his friends.
Is he a golden retriever?
He is, yeah. Yeah, just very golden. His favourite trick, he's really good at doing the roll. Like, he'll just sit down, roll. You can literally just pat your chest and he'll jump up and give you a hug. I love that one. He can, like say, balance some treats on his nose, but they're just the dribble just then sets off. So I just avoid that one so I don't have to clean all his dribble up.
Has he met Millie's dog, Frank?
He has, yeah. We've had a couple of walks. Our team's great. We've got so many dog people. Yeah, there's about 6 or 7 dogs in the team, so we all have dog walks together.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
For anyone tuning in, I'm going to get to some fan questions now. So we've got, what's it like to see your name on the back of a fan's shirt? That's a great question.
Oh, yeah. Again, obviously, the fact that you've chosen to, well, whether it's yourself or your parents that have bought it for little kids, knowing that they see you as somewhat of an inspiration and they've put their hard-earned money into wanting your name on the shirt is a big honour. And yeah, I think it's just very sweet that people feel that I'm a role model to them, and I try my best to be.
Oh, amazing. There's another one saying, what do you think about the new Chelsea kit and which is your favourite shirt?
I haven't seen them in person yet, but I love the away kit that's just got released today. I think that's really nice. The blue one, it's nice, but I need to see it in person to know it properly. But at the minute, I really like the away one that they've shown out today. I think that looks really smart. Yeah, it looks smart.
Someone at Chelsea Live has asked, what's your favourite chant?
My favourite what, sorry?
Chant.
Chant.
Chants, yeah. Sorry,
it's my northern accent.
No, it's brilliant. I'm going to be northern.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You just sound so much friendlier than me. I should just be like, hiya, how are you?
Oh, no, it's all right. Oh, God. I like any. They're all pretty, like, just England for England, sort of that. They're just all pretty generic, but I love them. I think it's always nice when you hear them chanting your name, and it's quite fitting, as I said.
Yeah. Someone said, what is the hardest team you've played for?
Hardest team I've played for?
Yeah, I think it probably means against.
Yeah.
Played for, but I think it's against.
I think one of the hardest games would be back in, I think it was 2017, when we played Wolfsburg at Stamford Bridge in the Champions League, and they were just on another level. I remember that game vividly, and yeah, they were ridiculously tough. I think that's probably one of the hardest games I've been a part of.
What are your thoughts? I'm going to start like reeling them out now.
Yeah, you're fine. Sure.
What are your thoughts on next season, and what are your goals next season?
Next season, same as this season, go unbeaten, collect some more silverware. Again, like, the hunger hasn't stopped. Champions League is probably one of the biggest ones for us. We're really going to probably be gunning for that, because we got so close to it the season before. Yeah, and personal goals, just be even better than this year. Score more goals, win more trophies for the team.
Nice. Someone else has said, what are your best tips for becoming pro?
Resilience would probably be one of them. Making sure you've got a good work ethic and attitude towards it. Not being a pushover, but respecting everyone else around you enough to appreciate what it is that you're good at and what you're not good at, to work on your strengths. Yeah, just be humble and work hard, really.
Nice. What is your biggest achievement? I think we might have covered that, but
England debut, without a doubt. Yeah, playing for my country, and as well as getting the trophies for the club.
Very nice. If you had to choose one player to come to the women and men's team, who would it be and why?
If I had to choose one player, what, sorry?
To come to the women and the men's team, who would it be and why? So I guess you can pick anyone.
From Chelsea or anyone?
I think anyone. It's to come to play.
If I could play with anyone in their prime in Avonmere, it would be Steven Gerrard, without a doubt. Love him. Okay. Absolutely love him.
Nice. Okay. That's interesting. The questions might start taking a very different turn now.
Sorry. Yeah, I love Chelsea. I do love Chelsea, but he's my favourite. So.
Well, that's interesting, because someone said, who's your favourite Chelsea player of all time?
Who's my favourite Chelsea player? Drogba. I loved him. I thought his clinicalness, his power and strength, unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is just a little statement, actually. Your determined heart will put you ahead with hard labour, training and pride to success. We're a massive fan of you. The Pen Media. There's just loads of like nice comments about you now. Here's one. Have you ever thought about playing in the NWSL? If so, what team?
It's crossed my mind. I think probably towards maybe the latter stages of my career, I'd probably look to go in that way. Well, it depends what opportunity arises, really. I think as long as I can get my dog there, we're all right. But for picking a team, I probably couldn't go to one of the hot ones, because I struggle in heat. I've got really fair skin. My dad's ginger, so I'd burn like a peach. So I'd probably end up having to go to one of the colder countries, unfortunately.
That's brilliant. Well, England works perfectly for
Yeah, it's perfect climate for me, really. But yeah, anywhere that's too hot, I think, unless I've got factor 50 and some, I'll be struggling a little bit.
Love it. Someone said, how do you motivate yourself post-lockdown?
I think it's enough motivation, being cooped up and not being able to enjoy the sport you love. I think as athletes and professionals that we are, we're all itching to get back out on the pitch, and hopefully it's not going to go too crazy, because everyone's going to be too excited. But yeah, I think we're just going to be excited to get back playing again, and hopefully fans will be able to come watch us soon enough.
Have you tried something new in lockdown?
I wouldn't say new, but I've been doing a lot of baking in lockdown. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of baking. So that's something I've always enjoyed. But my mum bought me a mixer for Christmas, and I just never had so much use in this lockdown. I've made so many cakes, cheesecakes.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah,
brilliant. Oh well, I mean, Buddy's birthdays are now sorted.
Yeah, he's always sorted. He's fine.
Baking with meat, maybe.
Yeah, no, it was duck, cranberry, and apple. I think it was his birthday cake. It stunk. It weren't the best, but It stunk, but it was nice. And then some doggy peanut butter and some little treats for him.
Oh, bless him.
But yeah.
Someone said, who's your funniest teammate?
Oh, there's a few. I think Hannah Blundell is secretly hilarious. Like some of the stuff, like the one-liners she comes out with, absolutely crack me up. So yeah, I'm gonna she's not like one that jokes around a lot, but when she makes these comments, she has me in stitches. So yeah, I'd say Hannah Blundell.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you know what? Everyone that we've spoken to has said a different teammate. So I feel like secretly you're all just hilarious.
Yeah, we're a good group. Yeah, if you're gonna go for the most like blatant and stupid, then Erin, because that girl needs help. But yeah, I think
help.
That girl is in a league of her own. She is. But yeah, I think I find Hannah hilarious.
I don't think we gave Erin any notice that we'd be on here, because with Millie, she was so funny. She just flooded all of the comments being like, I love you. You're my biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. She's so funny. You're right. I saw the Hyundai shoot that she did with Mason.
Oh. Why don't you just buy it and paint it or something, she said. That is a prime example of why Erin needs help.
Yeah. They went, I don't like the colour. She's like, you could always just buy it and paint it.
Like, why would you waste money? And like, honestly, the girl, I would love to know what goes on in that little head of hers. But she's a character. I'll give her that.
Well, listen, Beth, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to leave you on this last fan question, which is a good one. Would you rather win the World Cup or the Champions League?
Oh, World Cup.
Yeah.
National stage, your country, like it. Yeah. I mean, I won a Champions League more than anything, but yeah, I can imagine the feeling of being a World Cup winner. That will stay with you for life. World Cups only come round every so often.
Yeah.
You can hopefully try and get in the Champions League as many times as possible, but yeah, World Cup definitely.
Well, Beth, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. And thank you for everyone tuning in. I'm sorry if I haven't answered your questions, but I will try next time. Beth, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Give Buddy a big hug from everyone,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, I should have shown you him.
Yeah, show us him.
He is asleep, but hey, bud. Where is everyone?
Oh,
everyone. Where's your little face? There he is. He's tired.
And good night.
But yeah.
Oh, he's adorable. Thanks so much. You've
all right.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Guys, make sure that you tune in. We'll be having some more Champions chats. And I'm sorry if I didn't get your questions in, but send them in the comments and keep sending them in. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.